marching band in Arkansas has changed so much in the last 15 years. It's crazy. Teaching marching band is teaching marching band. It's teaching dots. The thing that is different is all the body that's involved now. All the body, all the movement, all the dance is totally, we did not do that in 2006. That's what I'm saying is it's come from marching, and you might have done some horn flashes. You know, that's the difference. When you think of old-timey marching band, it's not that much different. Dots are still dots. Formations are still formations. Good music is still good music. It's how much, you know, how much extra stuff are you going to put in? And I think that's one reason why we did really well this year, is because we could march well, we could play well, and we had lots of body in our show, and it all made sense. If it flows, it goes, and it works, and that's why your scores go up. But figuring out how to match the music to what you're seeing on the field is the big thing, and putting the body movement in there and all the dance and really incorporating the guard into all that is what has changed. I could probably say this is probably the best group that we've had performance-wise in the 10 years I've been here.
I am very proud. Like, especially at state, I looked up on the big screen and saw everybody and saw everything hit, and I just started crying on the podium when part 3 hit. But my biggest thing was I am so proud of all these kids and like how hard they've worked and how far they've come, because we started out summer band and they didn't know anything, and for us to get that far, like in all the given circumstances and people getting quarantined and people getting sick and all the unknown, I'm very proud of how far they've come. Being a drum major, I'm able to be on that podium and see everything. Like, I can see what everybody does, and I can see all of their work come together. I can hear everybody's parts, and like, they put the speaker under me, the synth under me, and when they first did that, like, Jody hit the synth, and I was like, oh, like, you can feel everything. You can feel the emotion, you can feel the music, and you can watch everything. I don't know. I feel like I'm more appreciative of the band now that I'm drum major, because I feel like if I was out there marching, I would only be proud of myself, I guess, because I wouldn't see everybody else's work. But since I'm up there, I'm able to see everybody, and I'm able to see their work come together and really just, Well, I've been doing this for 3 years now, sophomore through senior year, and I have made so many friends from this, and like this is my entire high school experience right here. Like, this is what I'm gonna remember most, and like this is where all my memories are gonna lie. But I'm so sad to leave it. I mean, like, we still have football games and all that stuff, and we still have concert band, but it's not the same as like being with these kids 24/7, and like, I don't know what to do with myself now that band's over. Like, what do I do after school? Go to work? Like, sleep? Do homework? Apply for colleges? It's just, this has been such, like, I don't know, this has been such a huge part of like me finding who I am and like me finding my place, and even just like being a drum major and like being in a leadership role. There was a lot of like pressure on me, but it really helped me grow as a person, and like I can use that forever. But I'm really sad to leave it. I'm gonna come back for my kiddos next year, but it's not gonna be the same, because I'm not gonna be around these people 24/7, and yeah.
I don't know, I think this show was really good. There's a lot more visual stuff too. And in some ways, I could see why it could be difficult for some people in the band, because there's a lot of visual stuff, but I personally enjoyed it, and I thought it was a nice difference than what we usually did before. I don't know, there were definitely some like hard to do visuals, like a spin at one point, and different like stuff, like motions with your arms, and I don't know, but I think that just, I don't know, just made it overall a better show.
Oh yeah, last year, Technicolor, I liked the show, but it was nothing to Starry Night. I think Starry Night was an amazing show, and I'm really happy with what the God got to do this year, especially with all the rifle work. I'm excited for next year, knowing that our talents are going to increase, so our show will only get increasingly better.
Overall, I think this year has been one of the better years that Legacy has done. And I'm not saying that because I'm in it, but like, we felt more connected this year. Like drumline especially, we could talk to each other and there were hardly any problems. It was all just, you talked and it was like a family. I know that's cliche, but it really was like a family this year.
It was a new experience, but it was a whole lot of fun. It helped discipline-wise, like showing up on time, getting your stuff done. It was an eye-opener, basically. This year, like going into it, I was like, oh, it's just gonna be some small thing that we just do after school and go to contests for, but it's not gonna be like huge. But I think the first summer band day that we were gonna start doing marching stuff, I showed up like 2 minutes late, and I did kind of get in trouble, so I don't know, it helped me to see that what I was doing was big, it was important, and that it's something that if you're gonna do, you gotta give it your all, and so it really helped me start with discipline, self-help, self-work, working on stuff outside of school, not just, oh, we're gonna practice it anyway. You have to go home and work on it and try to get it better than how it was. And so it's something that helped me at least grow to being more responsible and stuff. So that's how I would say it affected me. And so yeah, I'm very excited for my senior year. Really looking forward to having one last show, one last state. And hopefully, it'll be our best year. It'll be our top first place at state, and it all depends on us.
All of the juniors this year, like I can't wait to see how much they grow and what they do next year when they take over. It could go really bad, it could go really good, but I'm really excited to see where they go.
Yeah, I'm excited for next year, honestly. And I don't just say that, but I'm being serious whenever I'm like, I'm excited for next year, because I always think it's fun to see the new people come up and see them improve.
Don't get into La La Land. Get them up there where they belong, okay?
The first tune, you know, it sounds kind of out there. It's very in your face. It's kind of dark. The Allegro Barbaro was supposed to sound kind of frantic and kind of insane-ish. And then you get Moon River where it's relaxed, you know, and it's, you know, but you're going at the stars and the sky, and you got all that visual going on. And then the last part with Starry Starry Night, you know, is all about Van Gogh and why, you know, they didn't really appreciate Van Gogh until after he was gone. That was kind of the point of that whole thing. But you get Starry Starry Night and Moon River in the whole show. If you'll listen, he threw in parts of it everywhere, which I thought was really cool about our, you know, music writer doing that.
My favorite part of the show, part 3, hands down, all the way, part 3. Like when they all come together and they, like it looks like a flag almost waving, and like there's that one hit, and then I start dancing with the percussion. And like the way it hit, like at state part 3, that one percussion came in, and I was bawling like a baby on the podium.
My favorite moment was once we got all of part 1 put together, and you know, everyone marched, because part 1's usually the first one you ever do, and it's kind of nerve-wracking putting drill with music. And so having them do that and having them see all that come together was just an exciting moment as a section leader. Oh yeah, first performance I was really freaked out because, you know, fresh line, They're not used to playing in front of a big crowd. So seeing them come together and play their hearts out, that was pretty awesome. Last performance, I wasn't as nervous. I was more excited to see them grow from where they already were and see them grow to where they are now. I felt really good beginning of the season. I don't know. It was kind of rough. It was, fresh line. I'm the only one that had ever marched snare, so it was kind of interesting getting to see that start. But everyone formulated perfectly and it worked, and everything just kind of came together close to the end of the season. Statistically, we shouldn't have even placed in top 3. So knowing all of these factors, knowing all of this stuff, and seeing all the work that they put in to beat those statistics and beat those numbers really provided us some encouragement to actually keep pushing and not just let this year be a Debbie Downer year, but let this year actually prove that we actually got something, even with low resources, low all this other stuff.
I mean, we're getting closer and closer each year, and although I might be graduating, I know years after this, Brian's going to just keep growing, and yes, I think it's good. I think it just kind of sets like another little, landmark or something in the Bryant history, Like, you got a 90 at state, so now we can just build up from there and hopefully take state at one point.
We're setting up for the years after us, for the people that come after us, and so it's important to, since we're going to be, next year's our last year, we need to start doing that, start setting up, start helping the new people coming in, and also looking forward to a better, bigger, better stuff.
I think they're going to place first in state next year. They've got it down. Stephanie's going to take control, and Stephanie's going to have the snare line down, and I know that section leaders next year for the drum line are just going to dominate, and it's just going to be insane to see what all they do.
Well, I was very excited about coming in because, well, number one, our numbers were up, and number two, we had that camp early in May, and we were playing through the opener and getting into the second movement. We've never really done that much before, and they were sounding really good. And I knew there were good musicians in the group, and everybody showed up. And when everybody showed up for summer band, I thought, well, this could be really special. I didn't know how far we would go, and it could have went. You never really know how really good it is until you go to that first contest. If the kids keep working like they are, it'll be commonplace that we're going in winning contests. It's going to be common. It's going to be when you don't win. Now we're still striving. We're still getting better. And that's okay. And even when we're first place, we're still going to have to get better. Because if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Guard is very challenging, especially since the Legacy Guard, we practice so much. Like, we stay late until 8 o'clock on Monday, stay late after the band most days during the week. We come on a Friday sometimes, we're going away games. It's just a lot of practice time. Personally, I don't think the work is hard if you kind of focus on it. We did have everyone spinning rifle this year, which was a first for the Guard in general, like of all Legacy, all years. So that was kind of exciting. But it was just a lot of work, a lot of time in the summer. We spent so much time just to be good and be perfect. And of course, no Guard's perfect, but this year I think we came really close with it because we were all just we wanted to make our coaches proud, and we all really wanted them to be happy for us. Well, this year is really sad because a lot of people dropped out during the year of COVID, but the people that have stayed, which are Laney and Taylor, so this being their senior year, it was very emotional because every competition people were crying, people were so upset because they knew that they were leaving, and we also knew that they were leaving. And we can't really imagine not having them to lead us. And it's like starting to hit my grade that wow, one of us is gonna be captain. We're gonna have to step up and lead somebody else. We're not gonna have the people to fall onto. And that's what really hit a lot of us this year. State was very emotional, a lot of tears, a lot of letters. I know whoever is gonna be chosen is going to do it amazing. And I had no doubt in my fellow teammates. They're incredible people, very talented. We've all worked so hard to be where we are in Guard right now. And it's just, you know, guard, I said, guard's not easy. Guard is hard. Spinning a rifle, breaking your finger, multiple concussions throughout the year. Still performing with them because we're all kind of stubborn.
I think first place is always the best thing to shoot for. You know, if you're going to shoot for something, why not go all out? So it's kind of like if you're going to aim for, you'd rather aim for the bullseye than aim for the one right below it because you know you may not hit the bullseye. So it's based off of beating statistics, and I think that was the whole mentality this year. It's just getting those numbers up and beating them out. I think that underdog mentality allowed us to open up and show that we are not the underdogs.
Well, I think the only second place that really brought us down was like Hamilton. I wasn't ready for that. I thought we didn't have a great first run, and I think that kind of tainted going into finals because we had the wind problem and we had things. We just didn't have a good run, you know, and those happen. Every other second place, I think we were vindicated. I think for the pair gold because we came back and beat Arlington by 3 places the next week. Which, I mean, I don't think they got a whole lot better, but we sure did. I don't know why, and I'm not exactly sure how, but I mean, yeah.
I'm more proud of us getting second at Memphis than State because Memphis, like, when they said second place, you should have seen like the joy in Mr. Matthews' face because like that's where he's from, like that's his place, that's where he got his degree, blah 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 blah. But like he was down on the field, and there's one picture that my mom took, and it's of Mr. Matthews taking a picture of like all of us down there with the flag, and he's just cheesing like a little toddler. He was so proud, and like seeing the joy on his face just made me happy.
Well, it was my first time going to both Memphis and State, so it was a bit intimidating compared to previous. Cabot was small, Paragould was pretty big, but it was so much on a bigger scale. Like he had told us, Mr. Matthews had told us that it was going to be a lot bigger, but being there and having to perform, it was intimidating at first, but once the music starts and once you really set up, you just run what you know, and it was Memphis was, I would say, my best run. I don't think I got a better run, even though State was a very, very good run. The way that I felt after Memphis was just like inexplicable. And State was really good. We did very good with scoring wise, but for me, Memphis was just like the top.
The intimidation factor definitely brought up some concerns, you know, with how people were going to adjust to it, how people were going to adjust to sound. You know, college hashes and high school hashes are 2 completely different things. So first time doing that, first time new stadium, all this different stuff just kind of came together, and it did cause us to worry. But through us talking to them, communication, letting them know, everything just worked out perfectly. And they understood the challenge, and they were all ready to take it. And once they did, it flew, and it was probably one of our best runs.
I think it was just traveling to Memphis because my first marching season was actually during COVID. So my juniors this year didn't get that experience to go on long bus rides, go on charter buses, going somewhere without a mask. This year is more like normal. We got on charter bus, went to a stadium where like the box was like a tower above us that we had to conquer, and it was really, really cool. I really just enjoyed traveling because I haven't got to do that before. We did really well at State. I know there was some complications with guard, with Fromble. Someone's flag got stuck and they couldn't perform. It was kind of sad. But overall, all of our soloists did amazing. Sage, who's one of our soloists, threw her 7 and caught it perfectly. That's a huge moment for her because we've been working with her to do that a lot, and her saber was amazing. Gleanne's solo was amazing. And I'm just kind of proud of the overall guard because we didn't choke up when it came down to it. We still performed. We still were all proud of what we did. We still were all just happy to be there and performing.
In second place, in our reserve grand champion, with a score of 87.3000. The Bryant High School.
I thought it was so much fun. Like, whenever I stepped into Memphis, I was like, oh my God, and I kind of got overwhelmed because it was just so massive, and I was like, there's no way we're gonna do good. We're competing with outside bands. We're a little Arkansas band, and then we got second place, and I was like, this is perfect. It's really just an amazing, amazing event.
I didn't march my junior year, but I marched my sophomore year. In comparison to that year, I think this show was definitely better, in my opinion. I just think everything was just a little bit better, and yeah, I think it was pretty on point. I mean, we got second at state. That was the main thing, and that was like, I think we got like a 90 point something. We got a 90, which is like the best I've ever. I don't know about the band in general, but I'm sure it's like the highest or the highest we've ever gotten. I don't know. I'm a pretty nervous person usually, just about general things, but I think that applies to most people. Like most people are like, oh, I'm nervous, I get anxious. I mean, it's just a thing that we do. But this year I just kind of just let things happen, and I just kind of like just freed myself of like, when I get on the field, I'm just kind of happy to be there and just realize like this is something like that's like just a great opportunity that not like everybody gets to do.
It's gonna get better. We have never done this much like this.
Let's perform and let's kick some butt out there.
Yeah!
We put our jumps down over there, Mr. Matthews?
It's really different because whenever you're a sophomore, it's very much you're the underdog. You don't know what's going on, and that's a good thing because you know you've never done it before. But you don't know what's going on, so you rely on other people. Again, that sounds really cliche, but it really is the people. Like, I just made a lot more friends this year and kept all friends from last year. So it was just adding more friends, and I got to talk to them, and it's, you know, legacy practice was fun because I could talk to them and have fun with them and hang out. It wasn't, I mean, it was about the music, but it was also about the friendship. You know, and through the season, you're like, oh, I can't wait for this practice to be over. I can't wait for, you know, I can't wait for state. But then once state gets there, you're like, well, now I have Tuesdays nights off. Now I have Monday nights off. What am I gonna do? I can't talk to them and hang out anymore. So it's just like, you get slammed in the face by a wall.
Man, this is kind of emotional.
But yeah, it's a really nice group of friends that you can be yourself around. And that's the thing, I felt like I develop as a person each time I go into band. I develop as a person more and more because I can just be myself more and feel comfortable. So yeah, it's more than just being like a competitive band, but it's just also about, you know, having that group that just kind of builds each other up. Because I still have friends, I still can hang out with them, but I think it's just that group's like mindset. It's like, it's weird because like you don't really know everybody, but like you know them. Like you'll see them. Like I'll be walking in the halls and I'll just see somebody like, oh, that person was flute or clarinet. I could be anybody. I'll probably have like never like talked to them, but I just know them. And so when we're out there, we're like practicing or going to a competition or on a trip, it's just, you know, just being around those people, and it feels like almost like a family in a way. You know, it's just a nice like comforting area.
But we were out on the field and we were just like joking around. When we're on the field, it is like, you know, we look serious and we're all like this, but we are not serious at all. Like I put my phone in my bibbers and like did a voice recording and stuff, and like it is just jokes, and we'll make fart noises, and like it's just, we look put together, but we are not put together at all. And like they kept getting closer and we were like, all right guys, well we didn't win this one, and then they kept getting closer and closer and we were like, okay, our show wasn't that bad for us like to not get at least placed, but then we got second and I was like, whoa, no way.
I feel like there's a larger like underlying part to band, which is that family group friendship that you just kind of have with people. Because yes, I mean the main goal like on the surface like level is like, you know, go competitions, do good, compete. But you spend most of the time just practicing and spending all these hours with all these people. I mean, you're gonna like just make friends and stuff, and I think that's just the great part about it, is just you just make so many friendships. And like we said before, like most of my friends came from band. I just know mostly, like if I didn't do competitive and I was in concert band now, I wouldn't like care about anybody. I wouldn't know anybody.
You'll find band in general, not just, I mean, that group, they're close because they're with each other so much. But you'll find in every facet of life, whether it be middle school, whether it's high school, whether it's college, whether it's post, if you're playing music, you have friends, you have people to hang, you got a social life because of playing music. All about the kids, you know. It's all about what do they want them to be remembered? How do they want them to be remembered? You know, you have to work all of that. You have to make it happen. And if you don't make it happen, you're not leaving any kind of legacy. For every year, those kids, they leave, if they work harder and this group has gotten better every year, that legacy is what we are leaving behind. That's what we are. That's how they are. That's hopefully in their brain, they're working towards leaving the band better than what they found it.
Legacy means something that I will never be perfect at, and I want to strive to get better no matter what. Because I am a perfectionist, and I want to be the best at everything I can. But legacy isn't a thing that you can be the best at. It's more like, what can you create with your fellow members and perform and put on a show for everyone to watch and be proud of you. And that's what I want to strive for. I want to make people here proud. Matthews, Mr. Chipman, Mr. Van Dyke, Miss Stephanie and Jennifer, who are our coaches. I want them to look at the show and be like, wow, they did that. They did amazing. And that's what I want to strive for.
I think legacy really just means fun. Like, I know that sounds kind of simple, but all around it's just fun. Like, yeah, it's hard to wake up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday, but once you get there, you get to hang out with friends and you get to play music. And if you're really passionate about music, it's a really good outlet to get music out, and it's a great time to be with people that you love, and it's like you're around a family, and I love that.
It's like part of your life. Like, it really is like your life for like the whole time you do it. I mean, it flies by, but like it really feels like right now it still feels like I'm just part of it, you know?
Like I said, this has been my entire high school experience. This has been ups and downs. Like, these are my friends for life. And like, I've made so many friends. I've learned so much just like in a leadership role, and like even just like working my butt off in like time management and discipline and all this other stuff. I don't know. It kind of means everything to me. We've been through this year and more COVID stuff and just more ups and downs and just unknown. And I don't know. It's just been like, this is everything to me. And now that it's all over, I'm really sad. So, hope I answered your question. And I hope I left my legacy. Like, I hope these kids are like, oh yeah, Laney, that drum major from a couple years ago, you know? I hope I left my legacy out on that field. And I hope that I was able to help people, or like even just like kids watching from the middle school or whatever, and they're like, oh, drum majors are so cool. I want to be like that one day, you know? Hope I left my legacy. So, yep.
Legacy is modeled. Legacy is transparent. Legacy faces reality. Legacy emphasizes preparation. Legacy is not something you leave behind, and legacy equips the next generation.